are affected, right? What is affected by?
I mean, their money, their money is affected. So
Anything. Their interests are
yeah,
affected, and therefore they have an interest in the actions of the company, right?
yeah.
The actions of the organization. Can you see it that I am writing it down or something?
Uh, yes, sir. I can see that.
Okay, then we have what? Then we have the shareholder concept. Without what is this? This is the shareholder concept. The shareholder concept basically it is a view that businesses and their managers have responsibility to a wide range of groups. Right? So just we have to say that businesses and managers, right? Managers are those who are appointed by the shareholders in order to carry out the day-to-day working of the system, right? Of the organization. So managers basically have what? Managers have responsibilities not just related to shareholders, right? But their responsibilities are much more. So their responsibilities are extended to a wide range of
Like
group.
they're accountable for their underlings.
Yep, yep. So then we have two types internal shareholders, as you have mentioned. Who are these employees? The others could be what? Managers. And the third one you already mentioned, that is the shareholders. Then we have external shareholders. Who are those? It can be in multitude, na? Suppliers. Then I am customers, as you have mentioned. The government is also a stakeholder, right?
Why is that?
Government is a stakeholder because it is affected now. One, if a company has become such a large conglomerate or a monopoly, then it will directly be affected. And how the prices affect government policies. For example, government's jobs are like jobs created, taxes paid, value of inputs, right? Then we have banks and creditors and community as well. No? Community as well. Okay, so this is a question that is often be asked. Now, what happens when there are different shareholders? So, when you are doing the responsibility, you have shareholder conflicts. Now, what is, for example, one decision can have conflicting impact on other decisions. Right? For example, how I am saying, for example, the government is there, right? The government says that, for example, you should pay a higher minimum wage. Are you aware of this concept?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so when the government says pay a higher minimum wage, it means what? It will lead to,
An increase in cost.
yes, higher wages for the workers or for the employees, for example, for the workers. When higher wages are there, it means it is good for them, right? But
Uh,
at the same time, what is happening? At the same time, the costs are high for the business.
yeah,
And when the costs are high, it means less profits.
yeah.
And when the profits are less, it means less return for shareholders.
Yes.
Okay? So these are the conflicting opinions that they have. Now, similarly, the biggest conflicting opinion, the biggest is the managers. They demand that they should be paid highest. higher pays, remuneration, right perks, benefits. These are the things that they are asking, right?
Yeah,
Why is that?
because because they have a lot of accountability.
Why? Because they think that they are running a business. Huh?
Mm.
Who are the managers? Managers are those people who are appointed, who are managers first of all. Yes, I.
So like the managers are the people that are appointed to like are appointed by a person by like an employee of the company that has like a higher position than them, or maybe even the owner of the company.
Order of the company?
No, like the owner, like like the founder of the company, or the or like or like the CEO.
No, no, no. It's not necessary that they are the founders, right? It
Yeah.
happens with the tech companies and all, but it's not necessary. Okay, so managers are basically what they want this. Okay, they are the ones, managers are the ones who are hired to run the affairs of the company, right? So they are the ones who are doing this while the investment, while the investment is made by shareholders, right? The shareholders
Mm.
are making all the investment while these are the ones who are running the company. So what they do, there is always a conflict of interest. Like for example, the managers they want like higher pages, each and everything, while the shareholders say that we want, and this is a term that you will learn later on, maximization of shareholder wealth.
Mm.
What is this? Like they said that their returns should be higher and they should be paid more. Returns higher and they should be paid more. Now, what happens is that when the managers ask for higher pays and each and everything, and managers are the one who are running the affairs of the company, so they will like make sure that this is necessary. Now, for example, they can create logic in that they would say that this company needs this and this should be done. So, what happens is that there is always a conflict of interest between the two, especially these two groups, because these two are internal. And when there is a conflict of interest that is internal, what is what is the thing? What is the mechanism they do? They think that they should be covered or they should be linked by something. So they do. They perform what? They have formed the purpose of auditing.
Mm.
Why an audit is done? An audit is done just to look at that how managers are performing, and that the result is then produced in front of shareholders that this is how your management is working. Result in front of shareholders. Then the audit report is approved. Na? They tell that each and everything that whether they are doing any fraud, whether they are doing any fraud, whether they are involved in any other activities, illegal activities or everything, fraudulent practices, right? Or whether they are doing changes into the accounts or mismanagement, whatever it is. So the audit is done in order to ensure, in order to keep a check and balance on the managers, because like shareholders are not running the business. For example, if I have invested some money in Apple and I am sitting over here in Karachi or Pakistan, so what I would be doing? I have no idea that how the affairs are being run by that company, and so what would happen?
I mean, if you have no idea, then uh, as an as an investor, if you have no idea, like, what do you get worried?
Yep. So that's what I am saying, na?
Hmm.
So like I'm why I've invested in Apple.
Be, maybe because you like the product.
Yes, because I was saying that okay, I think that this is one of the top companies. Now it has a good return in each and everything. But I have trust in the company, and that is what I'm trying to say.
Hmm.
When I have trust into the company, then what I say that okay, if I have trust, because why trust? Because the management is good. They are managing the affairs so well and each and everything. So I am saying that it is free from any misstatement. Another word that the auditors use is misstatement. Okay, so it is free from any misstatement or any fraud or anything else. So this is it. So this is what I am thinking of. Later on, what will happen? Right? If there's some error, like in the top companies, something has happened. Na? If you read about Enron, or you must have heard of it. So this is a poor example of what? Of managers trying to portray a good picture.
Hmm.
While actually the company is making losses, but they are trying to portray a good picture. No, no, it's going pretty well, and they are showing false profits just by manipulating the figures. And what will happen? It led to one of the biggest disasters of all times. Enron, if you can read about this, you would come to know.
Like,
Okay.
there's also like this Chinese company, like it was like a coffee company. They were lying about their profits recently. Uh, so then like the New York Stock Exchange kicked them out.
Yeah, this is the thing. It all started with this, na? Enron, and there was one Indian company, Satyagram or something. In 2008, it all started, and from that time onwards, what has happened, and that the audit, what we call it, audit legislations or audit concepts have been revised a lot because they have inculcated some new things which were never part of audit. So they tried to evade the laws and each and everything. So for them, just to cater them, just to come in contact with them, new laws have been formed and the whole audit has been revised. I remember the time because I was studying it at that time. So we were told, okay, now this amendment has been made. This is the change that have been come into IFRS. That is the standards for audit, standards for accounting. All have been changed because of this Enron case. So
Hmm.
they are the like the initiators. Enron and Satya or something. Satya something. Satya. Indian company. These two were the main. Okay. Now everyone like is following it, but it's not the because now rules have been in place. Like they have kicked them out from the New York Stock Exchange. Just have been placed. That rule was not made before. Now these rules have been made that this can happen. So these are the things. Okay. Now coming to the impact of the business decisions. For example, you are saying as you must say you say now let's go for new IT products,
Hmm.
right? New IT based production methods, right? You say now this is the time for IT, and when you enter into an organization, you say, okay, now this is it. We should really do something, and we should adopt new IT based production methods. Now, what will happen? What will be the impact on the employees, internal first of all?
Um, so you're gonna have to train the employees into using like the technology, and um maybe some of the technology can replace some of the workers.
Yes. So first thing is replace some of the workers, right?
Hmm.
So it means what? Layoffs.
Yeah.
This is like bad signal, bad omen for the employees,
Hmm.
Right? They say that we are redundant. You say that you are of no use. Redundant. Right? And this is what consumerism is all about. Capitalism. This is the biggest flaw, right? You make them redundant. Okay, then what you do? You say the positives. And what is a positive? It says more job and career opportunities.
Yeah.
Okay, more training
Mm.
and promotion. Then complex structures, because like now you have to understand that how things work. Previously it was easy because you are accustomed to it. Complex structures. Okay,
Mm.
so this is the one aspect, right? So that's what I am saying, that it will have a positive or a negative effect. Now looking at this, what will be the effect on customers?
M- Maybe they'll be able to like get their products faster because maybe the technology is able to manufacture it faster.
Quality improved,
Yeah, like speed of the product improved, quality improved.
product variety, less time delay. Okay,
Yeah.
or there is no time delay, or what we can say, speedy delivery.
Yeah.
Okay, then
Uh, like the state of the company is more predictable.
it can say that the reliability, right? If there's something issues with the IT reliability software or something, so IT reliability problems could cause supply delays,
Hmm.
right? Often it happens that this software would work, which is not. Sometimes the software is down. You have to call the maintenance teams and everything.
Hmm.
So each and everything should be there. Okay. Anything else? Okay. So
Uh,
also read about this, na? Lloyd's Bank.
Lawyers Bank.
I am writing it down. Lloyd's Bank.
Hmm.
Okay. So Lloyd's Banking Group. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So Lloyd's Banking Group, what they did, that they announced a further cut of 2100 in jobs, 2100 jobs cut,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Why is that? So I'm just giving you this case study. Let's, for example, so Lloyd's Banking Group basically cut what, 2100 jobs, and then the group is being reduced to 7,000 people now, right? 7,000 workers.
Hmm.
Now, what has this done? That the banking giant, it is owned by 43% government. So 43% government holding in this bank,
Hmm.
and still this cut was formed by this merger. It was not truly employee law. Employee across world are a permanent state of anxiety. Now what has happened? Employees are in a total state of anxiety,
Hmm.
right? As they,
Yeah.
what has basically happened, as they See, their employer announce hundreds of job losses every week, he said. Say,
Hmm.
but what has happened? Another thing is Lloyd's share price has increased
Hmm.
by 4.2%. Why is that? Because like for shareholders they say okay, now the cost has been cut, now it is good. So what I just want you to mention something about on the conflict of interest. Conflict of interest between different shareholders, that how this you perceive this, and discuss the ethical element as well, na? Like you mentioned,
Yeah.
ethical element or aspect. Okay, so just write three 2 to 3 lines about this,
Okay.
or a para if you can. Yes, Ayan, are you done?
Pardon, sir?
Are you done with this?
Yes, sir. I'm almost done.
Yeah, now tell me yes.
Yes. So for written like replacing your workers with automation, because with the unethical scenario, the thousands of workers that helped your company strive, will now become jobless because the company found a more affordable way to do the job. Uh, so that's what I have so far.
So what's the ethical element?
So ethical element is that like the workers that allowed you to like be in a scenario of affording affording like like the cost of buying automation, and after and because they're working for your company, now you took those profits of them working here and are now replacing them with robots.
So what do you say? Do we have to remove them or what?
Yeah, I mean, if you're doing strictly, if you don't, if you're doing strictly business, then yeah, I guess.
So that, what do you mean by strictly business? Everyone is strictly doing business.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Then you would have to replace them with technology.
So what is the ethical element?
The ethical element is that should, like, you have two options. Either you stay loyal to your workers, right, and allow and continue, like, them working for your company, or you save more money and just and invest in invest in technology where the workers that have been working for you for such a long time will now be fired for the company's profit.
So you can say this, na, that what the ethical element is that the workers
Like, are your workers like are the workers more important than your profits, or are your
are
profits?
given some sort of a plan, I would say, na, some sort of retirement plan.
Mm-hmm.
They are saying that, for example, the workers are given some sort of retirement plan. They must be taught given some period time, some time period in which they can look for other jobs. It shouldn't be a it shouldn't be like a process. It should be like more of a process,
Hmm.
and rather than an abrupt end, right? Then
Yeah.
some compensation should be given to them. Okay, so at least like they for the years that they have served the company, this is the loyalty, right? This is even if it is pure business for the time that they have invested in the company. Okay, now for this we have like method of conflict resolutions as well. Na? How you will resolve? For example, if there is some problem between managers, etc. So how you would be doing this? First is arbitration. You go into a case, court case, right?
Hmm.
So it is to resolve industrial disputes between workers and managers. So you simply go for an arbitration. Next is worker participation. You increase your participation,
Hmm.
right? So how you would be doing this? You improve communication and allow them part of decision making and make them part of decision making process. Okay. So in this way that the worker feels like they are making some real contribution. Na? They
Hmm.
feel what? They say, okay, now we are part of something big, right? Real contribution to many of the business decisions. Okay, then, and this is human psyche as well, right? If you can recall, you would come to know this. You would say, okay, for example, even at your home, if you're asked about something particular, even if you're not in favor of it, if you're asked, you say, okay, you were valued, so you accept to that terms and conditions.
Hmm.
Then we come to profit sharing scheme. So you would say, okay, now we can share the profits, right? You would say that, or the other thing is known as the share ownership scheme. So these two are the schemes like you allow them to have a share of the profit. For example, like even very little profit, like 0.0001, something like that, percentage to one of the employees so that they can at least they think that they are part of something. Similarly, at the share ownership is that they say that these schemes, including the share options, they give the right to buy shares at a specified price, aim to allow employees of all types at all levels to be part of it. Right? Share ownership scheme is that you offer shares at a discounted
Hmm.
rates to the employees so that and you give them a specified period as well. And then you give them a specified period. For example, like these are the options that this is for 4 years, this is for 5 years. So these have some validity. Like after 3 years you can cash this, or after 4 years you can cash this. Right? You can cash them or you can sell them and earn the money. So these are the options when the time is right and each and everything. Okay, so these are the three, four things. First is like arbitration, second is a worker participation, third is profit sharing scheme, and fourth is share ownership schemes. These four are the conflict resolution methods, right? This is one, this is two, this is another one, right? Profit sharing, share ownership, arbitration, worker participation. So these are the methods of conflict resolution. So what we studied today? So we talked about what? We talked about shareholder, then we talked about the shareholder concept, then we talked about internal shareholders, external, then we talked about the shareholder conflicts. Well, we talked about government, for example, as one of the stakeholders. Okay, who are the managers? We talked about that. Then we talked about the shareholders, the dilemma, the conflict of interest that they have, and that's why auditing takes place. Right? What the auditors do, they look for misstatements. We mentioned about the case of this Enron. And for example, if I say that what is the impact of any business decision? So, any business decision that you are making, it has positive impacts. That is, first one was negative, replace some of the workers, positive impact as well. Similarly, for the customers, what will be the impact of any decision that you are making? And by looking at those decisions, then you would think, okay, we should go for it or not. You would be looking at the ethical dilemmas, right? And for any decision that is being made, whether it is automation, it's not always good. The point is that it's not always good. For example, if you are just considering one group, now it says that okay, now this is the best thing and you should go for it or not. So this is it. Okay, and
Yes, sir. Thank you.
yeah. Okay, I hope you got this one. Okay, so just recall these and whenever you are writing, okay?
Okay, perfect. Thank you, sir.
No. Allah Hafiz.
Okay, sir. Allah Hafiz. Au revoir.
Or
Allah Hafiz.
Allah.